Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 story, The Head Coach, with me, Daniel. We're back today for part 59 and look, we're optimistically where we thought we might be, which is competing for 8th or 9th place in the league. We face moneybags Newcastle, who are struggling again at the start of the season, and also early leaders Arsenal. But the truth be told, we've been beating who we expect to or would like to, and we've been losing to the top side. So if you're looking forward to seeing if we can keep that form up or whether we can push into the top 7, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. We'll be back with Hemel Hempstead tomorrow. You can find that playlist up in the eye above. There's also links to the food channel where we've started our content again this week, as well as the Twitch channel for live streams and the football podcasts. But thank you very much for coming along as always. We have got a big spell in this season to come. We've got another 4 games against sort of better or top sides in the league, but some of them have been struggling and it gives us a little opening. If we can sneak 7th, of course, and get into Europe, this save changes. If we can win a cup, this save changes. And I wouldn't rule out either of those yet. Let's go and have a look at the schedule, see what's been happening since you were last here. And you will see it's basically been as expected. You were with me for the City game, which was the first of 3 games against 3 of the top 6 sides in the league. We lost all 3 of them. So 1-0 against City, you saw. 3-1 away at Liverpool despite a Diego Lainez equaliser. Emil Smith-Rowe ran straight up the other end and put them back ahead. We then just about snuck through on penalties against AFC Wimbledon in the Cup. I say just about because Chris Tipple equalised in the 92nd minute. He saved us. We had to bring Tanguy and Ndombele off the bench, who set up a brilliant goal. Wonderful last minute action from him, and that was just coming back from injury, so excellent stuff. We then lost 4-2 at home to Chelsea, Boya and Mepham getting the goals for us. I've got to show you this though, because I don't know if I've mentioned it on here before, but Federico Pereira is a player Chelsea have got. Those of you that remember our Spurs stint in FM21, in fact I'll put it somewhere in the eye above so we can compare him. He's almost the identical player, I mean stat for stat, to what we had with the Federico Pereira at Spurs last year. It's so uncanny that the regens get given the same name and exactly the same attributes. But I genuinely think that's happened there. I'm going to take a closer look later on. But it's remarkable. He got 2, as did Pulisic. We bounced back in another crazy game. This time we got the better of Watford by 5-3. We did fall behind in the game, but we managed to come back. Rios getting his first for the club, and Nelson the same, with 2 for Boya and 1 for Mepham. Not quite the same quality up front, and we were losing right wingers galore there too. A 2-2 draw away at Wolves with Boya and Campbell getting us goals early on. It's a very great first half an hour there. Loads of action and then not much after as we shored things up a bit. We followed up though with 3 straight wins. A win at home to Brentford, Campbell and Tipple, the 2 strikers scoring. In the cup against Blackburn, Tipple and Tanguy and Ndombele, the 2 that combined to beat Wimbledon, have done the same here. And then away at rivals Brighton, we just got the victory. A late Tyrese Campbell winner. We were worthy winners. We were brilliant. And Reece Nelson got the opener, which has endeared him to the fans a little bit more. So I said we didn't see a place for him this season. Maybe Dougie Freedman knew something we didn't, because Abdul Kadir, you can see he came off the bench there, been out injured half the year. Rios not really been able to stay fit. Morcio not been good at all. So Nelson's almost become a bit of a key player until very recently. With that all done though, we've got Newcastle and Arsenal. We follow it again with Everton away and United at home. Then we've got a December where, take aside a bit of fixture congestion, we've got a winnable quarter-final in the Cup, and we've got a lot of games where I'd fancy us to really get points if we want to be in that top 7 and in the European hunt. And we have got the strength in depth to do it now. If we'd had Abdul Kadir out for a month last season, or the best part of 2 months in fact, we wouldn't have got up to 8th place. We wouldn't have been winning games regularly. Here, doesn't make a difference. Our backup strikers are coming on. We've got good players in midfield. And we've even got a solid base at the back. Lenormand's been a really good signing, and the fullbacks are starting to improve now as Teo finally ended his unhappiness. So he starting to find a little bit of form. But with that all done, let's go and crack on with our first game of the day. Newcastle at home, a side that I would assume again have spent plenty of money. This summer, just 184 million, albeit they've bought a lot of that back for Henry Lawrence, who was a fullback who wasn't that good actually. Not sure why Leicester paid that much. And PSG for Billy Gilmore. They've got him for 90 million quid. But look at the players they've bought in instead. A few regens, some brilliant players too. Silas, of course, coming in. What a player he is up front. Just the 62 million quid up front. We've also then got a few 30 million, 25 million signings. David Neres, someone we've had before. Was it a Spurs again last year in the head coach? It might have been, but another very good player too. So they've obviously got Kenny Tete. It'll be a bit of a reunion for us today, as it will for Robin Lenormand. But let's go and get into it. Pick our 11 and see who we've got fit to come through this one. Well, the three players that we were warned to close down were Nabil Fekir, Diogo Dalot and Onana the keeper, so they're pretty strong. I think that's fair to say. For us, I'm still not risking Abdul Qadir because he's got injured every time we've started him again, so I'm really just easing him back in. We'll get him some football in the EFL trophy and a couple of others later in the month. But he'll be on the bench, which means Alan Rios continues his run of starts for the club. The rest of the 11, Grabara in goal, Teo and Jayden Bogle the fullbacks, with Lenormand and Mepham centre-half. We've got Taha, Boya and Castrovilli the midfield three. Castrovilli's not been great in recent weeks, just dipping again now. And in fact, I'm going to make a bold decision. Tanguy and Ndombele's in for him. He gave away the penalty, Castrovilli, against Brighton. And he's not been great in recent weeks, so let's play people on merit. Rios, Alanes and Tyrese Campbell the front three. Plenty of game changers on the bench, plenty of quality, but will it be enough? So as well as Castrovilli, it's Reece Nelson dropping out of the side, which arguably is a little bit harsh based on his recent performances and the goal against Brighton. Jared Bowen, one of those dropping out for Newcastle, he's on the bench with Konza and Kenny Tete, our man from last season. Starting lineup though, the likes of Daka, Fekir, two of the Brazilians in the middle, Milenkovic at centre-half. It's a good side. So let's get into the first half. We're going to ask the lads to prove a point and just hope they can find a performance, but I'm not sure they're gonna. Well, 10 minutes in, it was a pretty boring tunnel interview, but they did mention the effects of suspensions and injuries, and Teo has picked up an early yellow and an early knock. And with Mitchell being pretty similar quality on the bench, we might have to do that at half-time, but so far, half an hour gone, there's been nothing to see here, as we've finally got a highlight with a throw-in from Bogle to Rios, to Bogle again, and Boya. He's been an absolute superstar this year. Plays a 1-2 with Ndombele, and shoots just over the bar from the edge. Really starting to look his quality now, Boya. And don't forget, he has got that release clause, £102 million. So I'm not going to rule it out just yet, him leaving. As Lanes into Mepham, and it bounces off Tyrese Campbell, but the flag's up. We'll be going to VAR, but I saw the referee gesture. So this is going to have to be onside to be overturned. Are we going to get the luck? It is disallowed. It stays 0-0 here at Selhurst Park. Newcastle off the hook. As we're back with 5 minutes to go in the first half, Rios playing back to Bogle on halfway. Taha finds Ndombele. He's lost possession there, but Taha wins it back again. And we are going to have to take Teo off at the break, I'm afraid, as Mepham releases Lanes into the wide area, across to Alan Rios. And he is starting to adapt to English football now. It was a slow start. There were a few poor performances. There were a few little knocks. But he's starting to look worth the money. And at 21, he's the youngest signing we've seen under Dougie. And he's showing his class too. As Mepham plays out from the back again. Can this be the turning point for us? We beat them 1-0 on camera last year, but we were outplayed at parts. Here, I want to be dominant as Milenkovic heads away. Teo can't get there. Silas will counter. The big money man plays down the line. Mepham will get there easily. It's lovely work. He comes over halfway again. Plays to Teo and Lanes. He's got a runner, but goes up towards Campbell, who flicks down for Selly and Boya. Just about there, the centre-half to clear as Lenormand over to Rios, right side of the box, into the box again. Great sliding challenge. The second one, not so good. That's got to be a penalty kick, surely. Rios brought down. We're going to VAR. What are we going to get? We get a penalty. Deservedly so. Tyrese Campbell will take it. Will it be a goal and an assist now for Rios? Up steps Campbell, left-footed. Into the corner. The keeper went the right way. He's getting nowhere near it. It's a class pen. It's top work from Palace. It's 2-0 and we look a very solid side. Unless we're playing a top six, I'd fancy us in any match. As Bogle's got a throw on the right again. Really been a rampant finish to the half as Boya finds Taha. To Ndombele. He's got Teo overlapping. Back into Ndombele again. His shot's into the corner. Don't you just love it when team selections work out? A last-minute change to put him in instead of Castrovilli. And the commentary is spot on. Newcastle are all over the shop. Palace 3, Newcastle 0. Starting to look like when we first joined again now, isn't it? We're going to say we're really pleased with that. We're going to rest Teo for Tyrick Mitchell. We'll hope we can enjoy the second half because that was a pretty vintage finish. As we're back just before the hour mark, Lenormand doing some defensive work, heading away from Bogle. Has missed 2 headers early in this half. We saw brief highlights from corners, but nothing that went particularly close, as Rios finds Bogle. Chips over towards Rios again, who has been absolutely world class so far. Campbell's shot's blocked, it was a lovely cross, and it's cleared long downfield to Mepham. He finds Jaden Bogle. In possession to Rios and Boyer. Out to Bogle again, we're running riot down this wing. Bogle to the byline, in towards Campbell! Header straight at Anana. What an hour of football. We'll think about subs soon, as Lanes. Chance to cross, in-swinging delivery to Mepham at the back post. Completely unmarked. He's not had the best start to the season. But boy has he taken that chance. 4-0. It's Menvy, boys. It's that easy. And for a club that have spent 190 million this summer, I think they'd expect a little bit more than that. Newcastle have made all their subs, so we're not going to see Kenny Tete. What we are going to do, though, is rest some players. So Selly and Boyer will come off for... I think we're going to do Saceres, because he deserves a bit more football than he gets. And then I've got to choose out of Lanes and Mepham who's going to play more for the national team. I think Mepham will be fit when he comes back regardless. Lanes will need a bit more effort. So I'm going to bring Reece Nelson on. He deserves a run out. He'd earned it based on his last performance. It'll be an inverted winger on attack. We've got 20 minutes to really make this count. We could embarrass a very expensive side here. Well, a very quiet finish following the subs. A 4-0 Crystal Palace win. Last season I said I didn't understand it because our side wasn't that strong. I believe we are stronger now. Bogle's taken over from Tormaina. Lenormand's taken over from Tete, or the two of them combined. In midfield, we've got so many more good options. Boyer's improving all the time. We've got Rios coming in, who looks a superstar. Even Nelson off the bench played well. It is a fabulous team we've got here. And they're a joy to manage. They're our sort of team. There's a lot of dynamic, quick players that carry the ball. And as long as we've got that, this counter-attacking style will work very well. Well, let's have a look at the Teo injury then. It is only 1 to 2 days. That's not bad at all. We keep our unbeaten record of 5 games since those 3 successive defeats. And despite them, we're now into 4th place. I know there's a couple of sides like Liverpool, Spurs, yet to play, and Manchester United too. But what a start to the season it's been. And if after those big 5 or 6, we can then sneak that 7th spot, it's going to be between the likes of us, Wolves and Everton. And if we can get to Europe, even the Europa Conference qualifiers, I'd start to feel a whole lot better. It would be an absolutely fabulous achievement. Let's get through the international break, try and keep everyone fit. We'll be back in a minute to face the league leaders Arsenal. Fitness test time after a 2-week international break where we have not avoided injuries. Tyrick Mitchell is out. Kamil Krabara, first choice keeper, is out. But it looks like Teo's fit, Saceres and Tahar the same. So we should be near enough full strength, certainly strong, but maybe not enough so to compete with Arsenal. We have struggled against the top sides in recent weeks. We saw that with that 3-game losing run earlier on in the season. Odegaard, Saka, all of the likes still there. They've got Milinkovic-Savic as well, just in case they weren't strong enough, and Richarlison too. So this is going to be a tough one. Let's get our lineup picked, let's get our subs picked. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, we've just about got a squad together, but while we're here, we've got some transfer news. Bartosz Sliz and Eddie Segura both requested transfers in recent weeks, and Bartosz Sliz has agreed a deal to move $5.5 million to Basel. He'll go at the start of January, but a decent servant on a low wage, not good enough for the squad, so I understand that one entirely. Our 11, though, is very strong. The only change from the start to our last game is the fact that Rosic is in goal, enforced due to injury. Abdul Kadir has played in the international break, but I'm leaving him on the bench just to keep him safe, keep him protected. We've also got Ndombele starting again. He had no reason to drop out after his last performance. And Reece Nelson could come on against his former club. We'll wait and see. But there's our 11. It's no change for the outfield 10. But Rosic has got a big arse today. Can he keep the league leaders at bay? Let's go and find out. Well, it's an even more familiar Arsenal team than we thought. You've got Ramsdale, Tommy Asu in there too, Tierney the other fullback. Just looking at the bench, no familiar names there, but Wan-Bissaka's on the bench with Rafinha, Conrad Lima, Pessina. I mean, even starting, Demiral and Sarr at centre-half. It's a very good Arsenal side, this. So let's see what they've got in store for us today. We're going to ask the lads to prove a point again. Worked pretty well against Newcastle, didn't it? But this It's a very different level of opposition. Arsenal absolutely flying at the top. Let's see if we can keep them at bay. Well, within the first minute, we've got a throw-in on the right-hand side, which Bogle takes to Rios and back to Lenormand. He finds Rios cutting back from the right, who's looked very good in recent weeks after a slow start, and of course was probably the star man against Newcastle. Lanes intercepts a poor clearance there to Ndombele. Tahar over to Lanes. Been an absolute gem this season yet again. Gets to the byline, delivers towards Tyrese Campbell, and his header's just over the bar. Ramsdale dealing with it pretty well. 3 minutes gone though, and we've had the first chance. And we're back again in our own box. 25 minutes gone. It's been a pretty quiet first half as Lenormand gives the ball away to Kieran Tierney. He goes back to Sarr, the centre-half, who carries it over halfway. No pressure on him. Up to Richarlison. Through ball to Saka. Teo can't keep up with him. Does block the cross eventually. Tomiyasu there again though. Into the front post. Diaz second and third time blocked. One from the keeper, one from Lenormand, and I think the other one hit the post. There were last-ditch defending galore there, as it's still Tomiyasu on the right, to the byline. Chance to cross again. Rosic gets a hand on it, not a great convincing clearance. And Richarlison's rebound is blocked. Mepham behind. And it can have that effect. You notice it in Football Manager a lot, and probably in real life too, to be fair. When a first-choice keeper's missing, it can just unsettle the team a tad, as Luis Diaz chips it in towards Milinkovic-Savic, and Lenormand heads away for the umpteenth time. Out to Sarr on the left. It's taken a while to ignite this game, but Arsenal starting to look like a side competing for the title. Us, though, struggling a little bit, as Odegaard's got another in-swinging corner. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic heads it, almost like a little backwards header that, off the woodwork and behind. But it's all Arsenal, and we're going to have to survive to half-time, and maybe have to try and regroup. So we're back with 30 seconds plus stoppage time to go. It would be a cruel time to concede. Wouldn't be a bad one to score, though. Aranson coming forward for Arsenal. We'd like to try and defend this and hit on the counter if possible, but he's gone the whole length of the pitch unopposed there. Back to Tierney. He's got support. Goes short again to Aronson, who made that darting run earlier in the move. Goes for the shot from distance. It's miles over. And if that's a key highlight, we might be alright, because we can live with those all day. It is 0-0 at half-time. There is no doubt Arsenal have been the better side. But if we can keep it up, if we can nick a point, look, it's crucial. It keeps us in the race for Europe. 65 minutes on the clock. We've got fatigue for Boya. We've got a couple of other problems too. So Ndombele will switch roles with Castrovilli coming on. We're also, just seeing what difference that made, and it's not a lot in truth. We're also going to take off Alain Rios. He's going to be replaced by Abdulkadir. And we're going to take Campbell off for Tipple, who has had an impact off the bench a lot this season. Not sure which one of these is going to be best as the attacking midfielder. I think Castrovilli's the better going forward. He is. So that's the move we're going to go for. 25 to go. Please let us hold on. That is all I'm asking for. As it's a free kick for Arsenal. We're not even going to see it. But we're surviving. That's all that matters. Well, 7 minutes plus stoppage time to go as Aaron Ramsdale has the ball at the back for Arsenal. It would be cruel if we lost it here, but not undeserved, it's got to be said, as Rafinha, the sub, gets the cross in. Lima's header hits the post. Bogle can clear it away. Hits his own man, though. Then it's blocked by the Arsenal player. It's back into the mixer. Lanes eventually gets the chance to bring it away. Out for a throw-in, but he's carried it half the pitch. That's excellent work from the winger. And we might have to get the time wasting on, because I don't fancy us to hold on otherwise. Rosic with a great save. The rebounds are blocked. There are bodies on the line for Palace here. It is very last ditch, but it's an exceptional effort. As Rafinha crosses again to Lima, it's overhit, but he keeps it in. Crosses again. The offside flag is up. Bear with me, because the fullbacks are going to defensive duties here. There is no point in us trying to be aggressive and win this game, because we haven't got a great opportunity, and there's every chance that we'll throw it away whilst doing so. Why has Abdulkadir dropped to 2-star ability? Oh, it's because he's on a winger duty, isn't he? Let's get that changed up. Inverted winger on support. And there we go. I think that's the best we can do at the moment. And then when we get into stoppage time, we'll think about the time wasting. Or should we just do it now? Look, there's 4 minutes plus stoppages to go. We've got as much of a chance of conceding if we do it now or later. So let's just try and keep it tight. We're going to slow the pace down. We're going to keep ourselves in a tight shape with just one man up front on his own. And if we can get a point, we say thank you very much and run away. As Spurs have been saved a point by Ariane Kalantari, former hero at Bristol City. Whereas here, despite a change of goalkeeper, he's actually gone and got man of the match for us. He's been that good, Dragan Rosic. fair play to the kid. He's come in, it's his first league start for the club, and he's put in one hell of an effort. Arsenal 0, Crystal Palace 0. That's arguably better than the first result. Well, a crucial point on the board, and we stay in 5th place. And I'm starting, even though it's very tight, to believe, because the top 3 are in a class of their own. You would expect Chelsea and Liverpool to catch them. Spurs just about doing enough, and they've got so much firepower. But us, Everton, Wolves, I feel that's the battle for 7th, unless Leicester or someone can drag themselves in. And it's going to be one hell of a season to see if we can nick it. We are going to be back around the festive period. Let's see what games we've got. Should we come back for the League Cup quarter-final? Because it's such a big game for us, an opportunity to get close to a trophy. And I will show either Leicester or West Ham either side of it. West Ham are supposed to be one of the favourites this year. Leicester more than likely to actually be one. So we'll come back for the cup tie and one of those. Should have a youth intake preview too. Fingers crossed, some good news to come on that front. But if you did enjoy this episode, a scintillating, beautiful flowing victory against Newcastle, followed by doing the ugly side and nicking a draw against Arsenal, please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know in the comments what you think of us for the season. Can we nick that 7th place? I mean, it's going to be open and it's going to be close. And it will largely depend on who's in the cups, I guess. But if we can get through January, you can see the fixtures there. And we're still in the mix for it. I'd give us one hell of an opportunity of doing so. If you want to stay up to date and find out, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. We'll have daily videos from FM22 from 2 long-term stories. The other save with Hemel Hempstead will be back tomorrow, so please do check it out if you haven't already. There's a link in the eye above to that. The new food video for the channel which returns for 2022. Please do subscribe over there if you haven't already. It does mean a lot. And it's also the Twitch channel and the football podcast with plenty of content. But thank you very much for watching. Your continued support as always. It is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you next time for more big games. So we've got a chance to challenge for a trophy. I'll see you there.